Hello, 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 and welcome to the party. This is my catching the tails of my hat. This is a quick Q&A comments vid. I've not had a vast amount of comments, but then I'm hardly surprised by that. Nicola Young wants me to talk about me going to the gym. I've been going since I think it's June or July. I tend to go. I try to go Tuesdays and Sundays, although I also try to go Thursdays when I've not got group. She had a couple of questions on these subjects, so I figure I'll answer them all since I don't. On the chair. She wanted to know why I would. She says that she finds a little doll. Asked why I would recommend. Personally, I prefer the treadmill because, well, for one, it is cardio, and they say that is a good foundation for a fitness regime. Plus, it helps that the treadmills that I can watch stuff on YouTube or a bit of TV on the treadmills. I suppose, but then I suppose it depends on the kind of treadmill that they've got at your local area. Music can help, but it can be a good motivator. Although they do play music in the background at the gym I go to, although it tends to be the same songs over and over again. But it can go to play as your favourite songs if it helps get your heart pumping. Then it's not a bad way to go to help pass it. Help pass the time as you go on the machines. The only machine I really hate is the leg extender, which is a bit of a weird one. She also asked why I thought of swimming. I don't much like swimming. It's not that I actually hate swimming exactly. It's just that I don't much care for the pruning that comes from spending too long in the water. But Ian Maddox asked me. He actually sent me a harder one, which he asked me for my 3 top films, which is not. Well, my mood is always shifting. Like my response was to my 3 favorite films then was the third place. I think what I said was the Minions movie, which is a really awesome. Who doesn't love the Minions? The Matrix, the well, I never really know like Minions, of course. It's CGI and animated. I always find it interesting. So anyway, second one, like, The Matrix. It's one of the few films that managed to both be quite action packed and actually managed to fit in a good intellectual story. I mean, I'm not hardly I'm hardly that smart, but it's still a good. It's still a good film to make you think. The first film was the Labyrinth. The what kind of magic does she use? The old David Bowie and I really do quite like, just like although I do like the CGI and animated films, there's sort of something it's a bit of a lost art in the puppetry and the um, uh, old stop motion animation, which obviously because it's cheaper to do it by computers and supposedly higher quality, but I think it in some ways it tended to be more realistic. Like of course in terms of puppets, the Muppets are still going strong, but I'd say like anyway and the thing is that my mood anyway lose for what I said. However, my mood has kind of shifted. I would now, if you ask, now I'm recording this, I would say that I'd probably still stick with Labyrinth in first place, but second place has been taken back by the Minions movie, and but first place I'd say is Transylvania 2 at the moment. I think a good part of that is probably because it's near Halloween, and but it's really hard to pick a favourite film because you can watch a film that you can never pick 3 films, and you can go and watch one, and it might for a few days that might become your absolute favourite film. But like there's like is you also asked since I like CGI and animation and that, if I like the Avatar movie, which I have to say it had some really good CGI effects on it, although I wasn't too I wasn't really sucked in so much by the story, but anyway, I'm curious to in terms of films that I figure I will mention a few types. I quite like old monster movies, not just old ones, the old and new, like the Tremors is pretty kind of new. The Tremors 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 and 3 were good. I'm looking forward to checking out film 5. I have seen the 4th film, although it's a kind of a prequel sequel, which firstly I find it generally not that good anyway. And in this case, and this is a good example. That was a good example of why prequel sequels are generally not that good. Zombie movies. Although I'd say that's usually the lower budget that ones look better, like Shaun of the Dead and sometimes they are mostly lower budget, which is pretty cool. But the Resident Evil, Now that is a tricky one because the series started off quite well, the first couple of movies, but it quickly went downhill. Anyway, Halloween is coming right up. I'm curious to know what are you planning to do for Halloween? Myself, I can't have a tradition of putting on buying too many treats for the trick or treaters, and watching a chunk of Halloween DVD, Halloween films or TV shows like Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors or whatever. That is a good marathon choice. But what do you do, eh? Do you go out trick or treating? Do you watch movies? You just turn the lights off and go to bed early? I'll be curious to know. Or as usual, please and again, please feel free to comment below, ask me some new questions, and remember, we're all a little mad.